Hello everyone and welcome to December 2023's Office Hours webinar. Moving swiftly on, we'll look at the agenda. So we're going to give an overview of what is Office Hours, look back at what's recently been added to Garage Hive, look at what's being worked on, what's coming next, and we'll round up with a Q&A session where you can be open and honest with the team. As a reminder, these webinars are recorded, but the Q&A session is not. So Office Hours was created off the back of feedback from the community. We aim to produce a 15 to 20 minute webinar once a month hosted by Alex Dawn or myself, Reese. This should help improve communication around development decisions, as well as improve awareness of new features and enable us to receive feedback on recently released features. Office Hours isn't a platform to discuss new feature requests. For that, we created a product which you can access via garagehive.co.uk/ideas. There you can log your ideas, rally them within the community. You can view, comment and vote for your peers' ideas as well, so support each other and steer the platform in the direction that you want it to go. It's been 30 working days since the November webinar, and in that time the team has processed 43 tickets through the development board or process. You might wonder why I'm saying this, but I'm just trying to illustrate to you that despite the fact that I very much doubt any of you have seen 43 improvements or changes in the system, things are happening more than once a day to push the product forward in a positive manner. So let's get into catch up on what was mentioned in November. So we said that the customer ranking feature was in testing. I can now confirm that that has been published to all customers. So you'll now be able to rank your customers after each job, attributing them a rank code that you can define yourself. This should help you set prioritizations for loading the schedule and also guide you towards how you should interact with these customers. We announced a QuickBooks API integration. That is now also published to all customers. If you're currently using the legacy integration, I'll be in touch soon to get you migrated over to the new integration. If you're feeling a bit impatient and you want to contact me beforehand, please feel free to, and we can certainly work on that. But rest assured, I'll be in touch with everyone using the legacy integration as soon as I possibly can. We announced recurring standard events where you can obviously set events in the schedule like training or meeting or apprenticeship college days in the schedule, and now you can set the frequency and the start and expiry dates for the allocations so that you can insert a bulk of recurring events in one go. That's now published to all customers, so if you weren't aware of this feature and you're interested in it, either speak to a member of the team or all of these features are documented on our docs website, which is docs.garagehive.co.uk. We announced some improvements to online authorization. We wanted to embed videos into the online documents, not just via platforms like YouTube, but we're going to work with Vehicle Visuals as well to provide illustrative and instructional videos that will help explain to your customers what it is exactly you are on about. This is progressing really well, and we should be able to get this out for testing in early January, so keep your eye out for that. In addition to those features, we mentioned that there would be a Euro car parts cross-reference lookup, which we are actively working on. We also said that the support team are looking to have some improvements made to help them interact with your system in a more secure and user-friendly manner. Again, we are actively working on that, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. We're also working on location-specific reminders, so if you're a multi-branch business, you will be able to send reminders which are more tailored to a certain geographical location. We committed to allow access to online authorization documents after they've been authorized. And again, that's moving forward nicely, and we expect that to be available to everyone in January, along with improvements to the way contacts are handled for the Vostell telephony integration. Again, expect that to be available in early January. In November, we picked the most popular idea from garagehive.co.uk/ideas. and that was to produce a questionnaire for diagnostics. I'm pleased to say we are making progress with that. We've had several meetings internally. The concepts are there. It's being worked on. Look out for some more updates on that soon, but it is coming. So that's the end of the catch up on what happened in November. Let's look at what's new now. So in December, we made a change to how my spent hours is calculated. So this section of fields you see on the screen now is a section that you can find in a job sheet if you were to access it as a technician. And it shows their my spent hours. Previously, this was calculated based on the length of the allocation in the schedule. And it was highlighted to us that obviously if someone is moving those allocations around and resizing them, then it's affecting this when it really shouldn't. So this has been reworked now, and my spent hours is now calculated off of the actual time clocked onto a job. It doesn't update live. You can't sit there and watch it clock up. But when a technician finishes an allocation, this will be updated with his actual spent hours. We added emojis to attention comments. This is probably small but a significant feature because it's really going to help you very quickly and visually prioritize which comment needs to be looked at first. So as you can see on the screen, we've got emojis for monetary actions or authorization actions, people who want callbacks, or people that have viewed the documents. This feature is enabled to everyone. I suspect you've already seen it. Hopefully everyone's loving it. I've not heard anything negative, so that's a lovely little enhancement there. With Euro Car Parts, we are doing a chat feature where you can speak to the team back at Omnipart about any questions or queries you've got. So in the Euro Car Parts integration, you'll find a button when it's released called Open Chat, and that will open a window just like this. And what's really smart about this is it's doing more than just opening a chat widget with them. We're going to pass over to Euros your Euro Car Parts account number, the vehicle details that you're working on, and also the descriptions of the lines that you've added from the job sheet, so that's really going to speed up your interaction with them. They hopefully won't have to ask you the sort of tedious and long-winded questions. They already know what you're doing and what you're trying to do. You can get straight to the point, ask your questions, get those answers. So that's Euro Car Parts. If we move on now, those of you that attended the Blend this year will have remembered this slide. Ray talked about how we're moving from what we call the hybrid cloud to the pure cloud. And that is progressing really well. So I'm going to summarize that for people who weren't able to attend or who've perhaps forgotten. Currently, although you are actually on cloud, as far as Microsoft's concerned, you are sat on a hosted service because we are running things our end rather than relying solely on Microsoft. That has its advantages and its disadvantages, but we are moving to pure cloud as quickly as we can. When you're on pure cloud, that will actually open up more capabilities for you. So you will be able to use apps from the Microsoft App Source that can integrate into Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, which is the product that Garage Hive is built on. There's literally hundreds of apps in the App Source, all doing various amounts of different things. Can't tell you right now which ones I think you will look at, but the beauty of it is everyone will have different circumstances and wants and needs, and this will allow you to add your own integrations. We're quite pleased, and it's a great achievement, that Garage Hive are now listed on the App Source as well as an app. Obviously that needs to happen for us to get you across to pure cloud, but let's just explain to you how that works. So at the moment you have the platform, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. On that, we've built Garage Hive, the app. Then through the App Source, you'll be able to add any other additional customization apps that you want. And that obviously gives you a great deal of power and customization. Now, as I said before, there are hundreds of apps on the App Source. Who's going to do what with them? That's for time to tell. But here's an example. Microsoft actually have their Power Platform, and one of the products that actually I use a lot internally within Garage Hive here is Power Automate. That is, in the simplest terms, kind of an if this and that sort of platform, but Power Automate allows you to add connectors in. So if a customer emails and they've got such and such in the subject matter, then do this thing. There are connectors into Business Central for Power Automate as well. So I imagine one of the first things people will start doing is creating automation flows for simple tasks, which should help improve efficiency. So with everything going on, moving to pure cloud, all these app sources, automations, that kind of stuff, it's time to talk about how Microsoft accounts work. Things are obviously getting a lot more techy, and it's important that you guys at least understand what's going on and how it's working. So what I plan to do as a little initiative is I want to start putting together some webinars where I can help pass over some knowledge about how the Microsoft accounts work, what Microsoft Entra is, what your Active Directory is, how it works with permissions and users and security, so that you can have a slightly better understanding on what's actually going on with that aspect of your business. So unlike with office hours where we said we're going to do this monthly, these webinars will be solely based on demand. So we might be doing one a week, we might be doing one a month, I might do 3 webinars and then not need to do any more. It's going to be very fluid, but do look out for these. There will be some benefit there, and even if it's not yourselves, perhaps you've got someone in a position within the business that you want to know a bit more about how your Microsoft accounts are handled. Perhaps you've been thinking about moving to Microsoft emails or anything like that. So when we start rolling these webinars out, I would encourage as many people as possible until you've gained a bit of knowledge. So let's talk about what's in progress or testing at the moment. A big one is the Reminded Not Booked report. We are making huge changes to this, and it's now becoming truly operational. It is a really big deal. Reminded Not Booked report has been around for a long time, but you've had to go and specifically run it, and then it just gives you some data, which is great and powerful in itself. Lots of people have been using it, but this is the next step. This is 2.0. So we're going to keep, it's a very similar structure in terms of, so those that were using the Reminded Not Booked report, it's essentially the same, but now it's going to run overnight automatically. And we've added a lot more data to it. So not only will you get some operational tiles, so when you come in the morning, you have a list of tasks that need to be looked at. We're also going to give you much better data to help you make decisions on that. So one of the other technical changes we've made, as well as just doing MOT lookups, we will now give you the ability to do a VIN lookup too, which will give you data about if the vehicle's changed hands since you've looked at it last, as well as having the most up-to-date MOT data for that vehicle. So inside that tile, you will see some data roughly like this. We're going to show you the description as to why it's in this list, when its MOT is due, and it's not just MOT dates, it could be timing belts, it could be service reminders, it could be aircon. If you've set up a reminder to tell someone about it, then it's going to populate in this list if it meets the criteria you've set. But you can see when the last MOT was done, who the customer is. We added reason code and review comments just like they work in surveys, customer surveys, so that you can start to build out why people aren't booking when you're sending them reminders, or indeed why you're not getting return customers from this report, which of course is going to be incredibly powerful. I'm sure Alex will put some time into some awesome Power BI reports to really start analyzing this data. We've added rank code, which of course is the new feature we talked about, customer ranking, as well as the MPS group. So you'll have all the data necessary to make the decisions about who to call and when. And for the vehicles as well, here is a zoomed in version, but we give you the make and model obviously, but importantly we're telling you if the keeper has changed and when the keeper changed and when you saw it last. So that's a really powerful tool. I think it's very difficult to get across exactly what can be done with this. We're obviously going to do all the documentation for it. I'm going to do a very specific video on exactly how it works and what you can do with it. So I encourage you to look out for that video when it comes, as soon as it's released. And so if we look at the garagehive.co.uk/ideas platform now, You can see there the diagnostic questionnaire that we've got planned now because we brought that forward last month, but it's time to look at what we're going to bring forward this month in December. So the next obvious choice is the ticket there called Fully Booked Colour Block. And I've got a plan. So I'm sure I get it. I've heard this requirement a couple of times. I've heard slightly different variations of it from different people, but I kind of understand what you're trying to do here. But I think that it's a little bit more complex than perhaps some people have considered. So what I'm going to do with this one is arrange a meeting with all of you guys. Of course, you don't have to attend, but it would be nice if you did. So shortly after this webinar, I'm going to put together a meeting. I'll send everyone an invite. Now, I'll get that list of people from the voters. You can see at the time of recording, there were 17 people that had voted for this ticket. So if you want to be involved, get over to that ticket and put your vote on it, because I will use that list to send out invites. What we're going to do, get around a table, thrash it out, really understand what the right way is to solve this problem. And then once we've done that, we can go internally into the developers with the concepts and ideas, and we can put together something that will actually work really well in the product and actually get this solved beautifully. And that's it. That's a wrap. That's December 2023's Office Hours webinar done. I'm going to open the floor now for the Q&A session. We'll stop the recording. I hope you enjoyed that. It was my first one. Looking forward to doing many more. Speak to a lot of you soon when I do that webinar for the colour block. Thank you very much for watching.